I want to make a dress. I have been away from my sewing machine for a week and I really need to make something. I don't know what kind of dress I want to make. All I know is that I want to use fabric that I already own and a pattern that I already own. So I thought it would be fun to bring you along with me to work through concept to ideation through to execution and completion together, like a sewing blog. Not like a sewing blog, it's gonna be an actual sewing blog. So yeah, okay, let's do it. Hello friends, welcome back to Karla Created, or if you're new here, welcome. I'm of course Karla and I love to sew. So much so that having spent the last week away from my sewing machine, I am hankering to get stitching. We have a power outage at the moment, but that's not going to stop me. I am going to plan and get a pattern cut out. Not sure which pattern yet, we'll pick one in a sec, and make a dress today. Probably not today, probably finish it tomorrow because we have an all-day power outage, which is just so fun. But anyway, I'm not going to let it get me down. We're going to do this and it's going to be so much fun. But first, let's pick a pattern and fabric from the stash. So I've pulled out these patterns from my stash, starting with this top I have made before, this dress which I bought last year and still have not made anything with. I thrifted this and the next few, I think. Actually, I think these last two were given to me and I really want to make this last one at some point. But right now, because it's still kind of chilly, I'm thinking that this one with the long sleeves modified into a dress somehow is going to be my preferred option. Yes, I'm going with this. I have had this tablecloth in my stash for I don't even know how long, years, and I have been saving it to make something out of. And I'm thinking maybe this would be a really cute dress for spring with the sleeves in that sort of peplum style pattern that I have decided to go with. I'm not sure. Let's see what else I've got. I have this green embroidery anglaise. I really like it, but I don't have a coordinating like lining fabric. So I might need to park that for now and wait till I've got a pale green lining fabric or even like a skin toned colored lining fabric for it. Now I do have a whole bunch of this striped linen cotton blend. Like I have so much of this. It's insane how much I have. And I'm not sure. I'm in two minds. I think it would be quite a versatile dress to have given the simplicity of the colors and stripes. I don't know. Let's see what else I've got. Look how much I have of this. Oh my gosh. Seriously, I could make two dresses with the amount that I have. And I didn't buy this. I was given this from someone in my family, which I'm so grateful for. My last option is this red and brown polka dot, but it's kind of giving 70s vibes. So I think I'm going to go with the stripe. Yeah, I'm going to do the linen stripe. Alrighty, I have cut out the pattern pieces for the bodice and sleeves, and I've got out the elastic, my bias binding, and my thread to start sewing.
He's worthless. Thanks a lot, Steven. No, I meant like worthless. Apologies for the terrible lighting. It is the evening. It is, oh my goodness, what time is it? It's 9:10. I need to go to bed. But I have done the bodice front with the bias binding elastic casing. I did a French seam for this front bit here and I've just finished hand stitching just this front bit down. So it's nice and clean on the inside because I have actually made this pattern before and yeah, that inside seam isn't finished all that nicely. Like the pattern just says stitch it together, but you end up with these raw edges where the bias binding and the elastic has been trimmed down and it just looks really messy. So I've done a French seam, which I haven't done in, oh my gosh, years. And I thought actually this is going to work really well for this seam. I might do it on all of the others because this fabric, because it's a woven, it is quite easy to fray. So I may actually do a French seam everywhere else.
but we will see. Anyway, I'm going to go to bed now because it's so late. But I'm so happy that I've got this done, because the next steps are, what's the next steps? Oh yes, attaching the bodice front, this bit, waist, attaching the waist to the bodice front. So that goes there. Yes. Very, very cute. I've kept the fabric going all the same way, like the stripes of the fabric. This is horrible lighting, I'm so sorry. I was thinking of doing the stripes of the waistband going in the opposite direction, so the horizontal rather than vertical, but the fabric is just far too slippery, and I was really worried that if I did that, then the horizontal stripes would be like all woo, not straight, basically. So I was like, oh, I don't want to risk that. Let's just stick with the vertical stripes and see how it goes. I'm also using the wrong side of the fabric as the front, because the blue stripes are just a little bit lighter than the right side of the fabric, which is a bit, the stripes are darker, and I don't know, I think I just prefer the lighter sort of tone. I also asked my husband and my eldest daughter, and they agreed, so that's that. Anyway, I'm gonna go to bed now because I'm rambling and I'm tired. And we will continue on with that later. I'm back. It's the next evening. It's not as late. And I am currently sewing the elastic channels for the back bodice part of the dress, or what will be a dress. I've finished stitching the waistband and just ironed that flat. I haven't basted it along the bottom yet, which the pattern says I need to do. I probably should do that. Yeah, so hoping to get these channels stitched tonight, and then definitely not going to stay up as late as I did last night. So I'll probably stitch these channels, and then maybe I'll cut the elastic bits and go to bed. We will see. It's easy to get carried away. And next minute it's really late. Back piece done. How good does that look? And so simple. Like, I really didn't want to do a dress with shirring, but I love having elasticated waist area situations just because of the comfort, and this is lovely. And yeah, it's actually a lot nicer than sharing on both sides, in my opinion. Hello, it is another evening and I have finished the back part of the bodice and it looks fabulous. The French seams are a brilliant idea for this very easily frayed linen cotton blend fabric. and it's looking fantastic. The pattern did have a section for a zip, an invisible zipper. And anyway, because it's late and I'm tired, I actually just stitched the whole side seam where the zip is supposed to go, and then realized, oh, I was going to leave that open to gauge whether I needed to put the zipper in or not. Whoops. But anyway, I've tried it on and it fits perfectly fine without the zipper, which is a huge bonus because I really didn't want to have to unpick that seam. It is a new day and it is finally my day off of my 9-to-5 job. And last night I finished sewing the sleeves. I didn't get any footage because I was really tired. I'm really pleased with how it's looking on the inside, or the wrong side, as well as the right side. It just is so clean. I think I made a really good call with the French seams. Yeah, I'm so stoked. I could have overlocked them because I have an overlocker, but I think the French seams, good call. I have also created the sleeve cuff casing for the elastic. So the elastic only sort of goes like half of the casing to create like a bit of a feature on the sort of top part of the sleeve cuff area, like a gather basically. So yeah, I've done that. I haven't put the elastic in yet. I literally just cut it out this morning. And I might do that now actually. And then attach the sleeves, or pin them at least, to the bodice. The top part of the sleeve is actually, I have to stitch bias binding to form a casing for elastic, and I might just follow through, like carry the bias binding all the way around the bottom of the sleeve where it attaches to the bodice, and then obviously put the elastic in the top to the back where it needs to go, but then have bias binding that hides the rest of that seam underneath the arm. Am I making sense? It makes sense in my mind, but who knows? I'm pretty tired this week, so this video is probably slightly unhinged. I think I've been in my pajamas for like 97%. Perhaps I need another coffee before I tackle any complicated parts of this project. One sleeve done. Alrighty, so I have pinned the bias binding all the way around. You can see how it loops from under the arm all the way around to the top shoulder and then the front chest part. And I'm just leaving like an opening here near the front chest bit and the back part as well to thread the elastic in later. Yeah, so I've done the other arm already. This is what it looks like. Beautiful and clean. See, this is the armpit here of the sleeve. Haven't put the elastic in yet. I'll do that in a second. Almost done. Done. Bodice 100% complete. I have finished putting the elastic in, stitching it down. I just need to hand stitch just these little ends down, but look how nice and clean this one is. So I have decided to go with a circle skirt, which I've cut out, and I am now just pinning to the bodice. This was the pattern that I had in my stash, which I believe I thrifted, I don't know when, it's been in my stash for a while. It's Simplicity 1200. Very, very easy. It's just a circle skirt pattern. And the best thing about it was already cut out in the size that I needed, which was fabulous. So yeah, I have just cut out the skirt part. I haven't cut out the waistband, obviously, because the dress, or the top bodice part already has the waistband. So I've cut that out. I've stitched the two pieces because it's a pattern that has the front and back skirt. I've stitched one side together. I've left the other side open because I have decided to insert a zipper, mainly because I saw that the side seam was pulling a bit, because I've tried the bodice on a couple of times just to make sure that the shoulder gathers and elastic was correct and not too loose. And also just to see whether I can get it on and off. And I can, but it's a bit snug getting it over my shoulders and arms. And I saw that the stitches were pulling against the woven fabric. And I thought, well, that's just going to get worse and worse over time. So I think I need to add a zipper. So that's okay. I've unpicked the side and I will insert an invisible zipper, which I have in my stash. I have just overlocked the side seam of the skirt that I've stitched already, rather than doing the French seam, only because I am cutting it a bit fine with the width of the waist of the circle skirt. I probably should have taken a bit more care to measure a bit more precisely and include a bit more allowance for a French seam, but I didn't. I just went ahead and cut it out, and then was like, uh-oh, if I do a French seam, it's not gonna match. Pin the front now, and that looks so good. Oh my God, I'm so excited. And I'm just gonna pin the back. Now the back does have the elastic gather. What I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna iron sort of this roughly gathered bit flat, so then I can pin the skirt on correctly. And then I'll just like stitch those gathers down against the edge of the circle skirt. Alrighty, we're in business. Alrighty, the skirt is stitched on and I think it's looking really good so far. Hopefully it is proportionally balanced. Like, I'm slightly concerned that the broadness of the sleeves, like the poofiness of the sleeves, will look odd with the A-line circle skirt, but we'll see. I don't know. I could just be overthinking it. Designing your own clothing, you know, like this by mishmashing patterns together is always a little bit risky. There's always that concern that you've made the wrong decision. Well, at least with me. I'm sure lots of other people are like, yep, no, this is gonna look great. Whereas I'm like, oh gosh, did I make the right call? Things are not going well, folks. Ignore the bra straps. So the bodice, fantastic. However, stitching on the zipper of the skirt, it's not right. See how it's sticking out? It's all buckling here. And I didn't go high enough, and it's still very difficult to get on. And it's very tight. I don't know what's happened. I must have just, I don't know. It's too tight. The zipper is all like visible and bunchy. Maybe it's just the zipper that was in my stash is old and crap. So now I don't know what to do. Do I take the skirt off and maybe do a top and a skirt? Please make me feel better by letting me know in the comments if something similar to this has ever happened to you when you're pretty much near the end of a project. I was so excited. I was like, I've just got to stitch the zipper in, hem it, and then it's done. But this is horrendous and it's too tight. I think I've used up too much seam allowance here. Now it's too tight around the waist. I don't know what to do. It's really hard to unpick anything on this fabric as well because it's woven. Okay, I unpicked the top part of the zip and have unpicked just up the sides here. Cut off the skirt. I'm just gonna park the skirt for now because I just need to sort out this bodice part without losing my mind. Now, I don't want to put a zip in. Zips are the worst. Lesson learned. The lesson is avoid zips. Avoid zips. Especially cheap crap zips that you bought 20 years ago off of eBay. Anyway, I think I'm going to add a little triangular piece in here to make this a little bit wider. Maybe. Apologies for the belly button shot, which nobody asked for. Yeah, I'm going to add another, just a small bit of fabric in here, triangle, and then finish off the seam. And then I don't think I'll need to do anything else. I'll just leave that like that. Like, I'm not making any sense. I'm putting in an extra bit of fabric. Let's add these little pieces in. There's a name for it when you add in like a gusset, but not a gusset, into the side, so then I have a bit of breathing room, and then we will decide what to do with the skirt. It is a new day. I did not follow through with those plans last night because I wasn't convinced that they were the right plans. So I decided to just sleep on it. I'm glad that I have, because I had a look at some Pinterest pictures whilst I was laying in bed before I went to sleep, and I think I'm going to revert back to the peplum. Maybe not as long as that, maybe a little bit shorter. And I'm going to do some really cute little side ties, little bows. So then the top is big enough around the sort of rib cage area for me to get on and off of my head and not be pulling at those side seams if I were to stitch it back together. I think the idea that I had about putting in those little sort of gussety type extra pieces, yeah, that would work, but I just don't want it to look messy, and I think it would end up looking really messy, so I'm not going to do that. I'm going to leave those side seams open, and I'm going to hem them, maybe with some bias binding so it's nice and tidy, and then yeah, add on just a small peplum, and then do some cute little side ties. And then I'm going to make a coordinating skirt, so then I can wear it as a set and then wear it as two pieces as well. Do I need any more skirts? No, not really. I've already cut out these really cute circle skirt pieces, and they are adorable. Like, the circle skirt is just so pretty and flowy. So yeah, we'll come to the skirt later. But apologies if you're watching and this video is so haphazard and all over the place. I really was not expecting that to happen yesterday with the zip, and I was really flat about it. But I guess these things happen, and I'm like still learning and trying not to beat myself up that my plans don't always just work perfectly. Yeah, it's teaching me not to be so much of a perfectionist, which is really good for me. It's really good for me. Yeah. So the lesson learned: let's not use cheap, crappy, awful zips, and perhaps don't deviate from the pattern, Karla, without really careful consideration. Like, I kind of just winged it a little bit. And yeah, I probably should have measured my waist a little bit better, measured the bottom edge of the top a bit better. Where did it go? You know, to make sure, and then been really conscientious about my seam allowances, because I think that's where I lost a lot of space. Also, I realized when I took it off, this like gather here at the back, this is what's making it easy for me to get it on and off with like, but then when I stitched this down, even with the zip, that's why it was so tight, because this is allowing like that extra room around the rib cage and stomach waist area. But then because I stitched it down straight, I lost all of that. So I didn't realize that. I sort of just jumped ahead, and I didn't think logically and carefully enough through it. So yeah, that's the lesson: is follow the pattern, avoid zips, and really carefully think through things if you are going rogue and winging it. I'm rambling now, and apologies for being in my pajamas once again. Okay, so the peplum is gathered slightly. That's good. I think that will look nice. Peplum back, peplum back. Oh yeah, I cut these on the fold. Okay. Cool. And now how long do I want them to be? Maybe like that. Let's just hold it up. Yeah, no, I don't want it that long. It's too long. So, I don't know, can you see these white strips? Like I've just covered those edges, and then this bit will be nice and neat because it's a French seam, it tucks all that in. So then they'll sort of naturally just sort of sit like that.
When that happens,
Good morning, friends. It is a new day. Can you tell? I have finished the top. I can't remember if I already said that because it's been like a week since I filmed. All I had to do was just stitch on a little tag and then just sort of just tack down some of these bias binding edges because the pattern didn't say anything about that. It was like, just cut them. And I'm like, what? I don't want to leave them just like raw. I mean, I know they won't fray because it's bias binding, but still. And I've put on this really cool tie at the back just to cinch it in, and I've left these little cute openings. Anyway, I'll try it on when I'm put together with the skirt, once the skirt's done, and I'll show you. Now, this is where I'm at with the skirt. Like, I cut it away from the top earlier. The zip. Yeah, I'm going to just cut the zip out and probably just chuck out that zip. Or maybe I won't chuck it out. I don't like chucking things out that I can use. I will put it back in my stash and I'll use it for like a cushion or something that's not clothing related because, yeah, it's not great. Not great. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to just open up this seam here that I'd already stitched down. Have I overlooked that? No. Yes. Open up that seam, and then I'm going to cut another piece of the panel piece. This is cut on the fold, and currently this skirt is made up of 2 of these, which should have been my waist measurement, but it wasn't because I just winged it. I didn't measure. However, I have done some measurements, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut another piece of this, and I'm just going to widen the front to make sure that this front panel has enough extra width to be gathered slightly to match the gathering that's going to happen at the back, because what I'm going to do is I'm going to do an elasticated waist. So I've worked out that I'm going to do an interfaced piece for the front waistband of the skirt, and then I'm going to do a wider piece with an elastic in the back. So this will be like gathered, and the skirt will obviously be a little bit gathered, and then it will bunch up at the back quite a lot more obviously as well. And these 2, when put together, are enough for me to pull the skirt up over my butt. That's the situation, because I just can't be bothered. I was thinking of doing one of those cool skirts that's like, that wraps around and like you clip it at the front, and then you have like a front panel that you tie around at the back, but I don't have the brain power for that right now. Brain power? The brain power and the willpower. So yeah, and I'd really like to get this finished because the weather is warming up and I want to wear it because I think it's just a lovely, beautiful spring outfit, and hopefully it goes well with the top, with that peplum, because it's going to be like a combo peplum but then with the circle skirt. I don't know, I'm not a fashion designer, I'm not very stylish either. Anyway, as you can tell. So I'm going to cut out this panel, do a little bit more mathing. I might need another coffee. Apologies for the kid noises in the background. It's all happening here this morning. And I'm going to try and get this skirt finished if I can, so that I can show you the outfit today, because the sun is shining here in Perth. Like, I can't believe it. It's been raining and miserable for such a long time, and I know I talk a lot about it, but we do not get that much wet weather here. Winter is like 6 weeks, and it's like a skerrick of coldness. Whereas this winter has just been never ending. It's almost October. It's wild. So yeah, usually in September, October, it's like hot days and like beautifully pleasant nights. Sorry to brag for those of you who don't get weather the same. But yeah, it's just it's been a little bit crazy just how wet and miserable. Anyway, I'm rambling now. Let's get crack-a-lackin' and see how this skirt turns out. So I have attached the waistband. I have just added a couple of little like pleats just to bring it in. It wasn't bigger enough than the waistband to warrant gathering it with a gathering stitch. So I just added a couple of pleats, and then I have folded over the waistband twice. I've done like a little, oh, you can't see it this way. Just done a little bit of a hem and then folded it in half to just to hide those seams on the inside. And now I'm just going to stitch in the ditch from the front, and it will catch the back. And I'll leave 2 openings on either side of the waist so that I can put in the elastic and then stitch it at either end, if that makes sense. What a journey this has been. I absolutely love this outfit. I think it is so cute, and I love the fact that I can wear the skirt separate and the top separate. This looks really cute with jeans as well. It was, you know, a little bit tumultuous, but I'm so happy with how this top and skirt turned out. In fact, I'm actually more pleased that I have the 2 separate pieces, because I can wear them interchangeably but also together. And I think as a combo together, it actually looks like a really cute dress. Oh, and I'm just so stoked. I love the bow at the back. Oh, it's super easy to get on and off the top. The skirt's really, really comfortable because of that elasticated waist. I am just over the moon with how this turned out. The inside seams are all so clean because of those French seams, and oh, I'm just so happy. Anyway, thank you so much for sticking with me right to the very end. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a like and subscribe to my channel if you're interested in sewing. I will see you in the next video. Bye.